Hello, my name is Faith Humphrey, and I'm in 8th grade, and I'm in Mrs. Carter's literacy class, and I'm going to be reading my persuasive essay on why not to go to Mars. So the title is Mission to Mars, Impractical and Dangerous. Red dust filters through his fingers, infertile and sandy. Tears run down his dried cheeks. His stomach rumbles in hunger, and the harmful UV rays pierce his skin. The air around thickens, and his heart skips a beat. His lungs tighten, gasping for oxygen. Why did he come here when he knew Mars was too dangerous? In the end, he dies, because he went to an unstable and dangerous planet, hoping to change it, make it like Earth. We should not go to Mars. We can't just change something. If Mars was to be a planet like Earth, it would already be like that. And we don't have money or the resources to colonize Mars and succeed. Our dreams are too much based on theories than facts, who place their trust in facts. Mars is far too dangerous. There are large dust storms that can cover the whole planet. Mars does not have stable oxygen, and it does not have an ozone layer to protect us from the UV rays of the sun. After Earth, Mars is the planet with the most hospitable climate in the solar system. So hospitable that it may have once harbored primitive bacterial life. Are you willing to put your trust on maybe? Why in the world would you place your trust centered around maybe? The atmosphere of Mars is less than 1% of Earth's, so it does not protect the planet from the sun's radiation, nor does it take much to retain heat at the surface. It consists of 95% carbon dioxide, 30% nitrogen, and 1.6% argon, and the remainder is trace of amounts of oxygen, water, vapor, and other gases. Also, this shows that there is much too thin of an atmosphere. We would never be able to enjoy outside experience on Mars like we do on Earth. Mars is a harsh, cold world. It is much colder than Earth, and then it is also far from the sun. The small barren planet also has a thin atmosphere that has 95% carbon dioxide. That if the planet has 95% carbon dioxide, how are we supposed to survive? Some people say that if we have plants, then it will create oxygen. But has anyone ever considered that too much CO2 can kill plants? According to recent studies, too much CO2 can be harmful to plants and not increase their growth. That's at least according to a study recently published in the journal Global Change Biology, which details how the plants and number of variety of very different ecosystems appear to have actually suffered from too much atmospheric carbon dioxide. This also shows that perhaps Mars has too much CO2 for the plants to live, and they will eventually die. All these resources point to one conclusion: Mars does not have the right resources for life. If it did, there would already be plants growing. Therefore, Mars does not have the resources we need to survive. This is one reason why we should not go to Mars. Mars is also far too dangerous to live on. Mars has a thin atmosphere, too thin to easily support life as we know it. The extreme thin air on Mars can also become very dusty. Giant dust storms can blanket the entire planet and last months. And this shows that there are giant dust storms that last for months at a time on Mars. Mars is famous for its large planet-wide dust storms. Mars has an atmosphere which is much thinner than the atmosphere of Earth, but which still creates winds. When these winds pick up the fine, dry particles of dust on Mars, a dust storm can occur. Most dust storms cover an area for a few days and carry small particles of dust at speeds of 33 to 66 miles per hour. Sometimes, though rarely, dust storms on Mars can be fierce enough to cover the entire planet in a dusty haze for weeks. On Mars, the windstorms are very dangerous. They can knock our buildings over and cause serious damage. We could get caught in storms before we access weather detecting devices. During the long 140 million mile journey to Mars, the astronauts will be exposed to all kinds of radiation that the atmosphere shields us from. The greatest risk comes from the sun. Streams of the subatomic particles can damage DNA, leading to cancers and other diseases. Thus, this explains that on Mars, the travelers are exposed to deadly radiation from the sun and are likely to get cancer and possibly die on the way there. Here's another reason why we should not go to Mars. Is Mars really safe? In the previous paragraph, we covered that Mars is very dangerous. There are many people out there saying that Mars has all the things we need. How are we supposed to believe them if they have theories and questions? They say life form may have been on Mars and that we can live there, but they say may. How are we supposed to put our trust on may? Are we willing to put our lives on the edge just to colonize a planet that might not have what we need and waste precious time and money? After Earth, Mars is the planet with the most hospitable climate in the solar system. so hospitable that it may have once harbored primitive life, bacteria-like life. Why live on Earth when you can live on Mars? Well, strictly speaking, you can't. Mars is a completely hostile environment to human life, combining extreme cold with an unbreathable atmosphere and intense radiation. And while it is understood that the planet had an atmosphere and may have had once a water, but that was billions of years ago. This shows that the evidence that life has long left Mars, proving the theories of colonizing Mars wrong. It says we can't. This is the final reason why we should not go to Mars. Now, there are reasons why we should go to Mars and why it is a good idea. The article, 5 Undeniable Reasons Humans Need to Colonize Mars, states that putting humans on more than one planet would better ensure our existence, though thousands if not millions of years from now. According to scientists' theories, humans will die off because of the dwindling resources, which may be true if you're looking at it at that point of view, although I will strongly have to disagree. We humans have very intelligent minds. We have figured out ways to survive over the years and how to make our lives easier. I'm quite positive we will find a way to survive on Earth even with the dwindling resources. Another thing is that the population on Earth is amazingly increasing. According to the recent counting, we're near 7.5 billion according to this website. HTTPS, and I'm not going to read that. 15 people are born each in less than 7 seconds. This shows that there are many people in the world, but the Earth is big and Mars is smaller than Earth. And if we do the same things to Mars, what good will it do us? Mars is unstable and does not have the right things for humans that Earth already has. Mars is not right for humans. It's a great vision and dream, but there are too many things wrong with it than that. Mars has not enough oxygen, no way to grow proper plants, and costs too much money. This is just my opinion along with other people's. You do not in any way have to agree with me, but all I'm saying is that Mars seems very dangerous and not hospitable. Trust me, there's no real good reason other than Earth is slowly dying and we are losing all of our resources. Maybe this is a good thing to teach us to use what we are given wisely. Perhaps this is for the best. But I will tell you one thing. Do we really want our future, our children, living on a barren, dead planet? Mars is not for us.